Oh, greetings, grasshoppers. Welcome. This morning, we're doing something special with someone special. My name is RJ Redden, if you didn't know me, and welcome to the Bot Signal. Today, we have with us a fascinating human being. Now, I don't throw that fascinating thing around a whole lot because, you don't want it to be overused, but I say it because this man, I have seen his stuff, and it is pretty darn amazing. Spencer Burnett works in the personal transformation field. He has got a whole lot to share with us this morning. Spencer, who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Tell us everything.
All right. Well, I'm from Chicago, so I'm calling from the Midwest quarantine here today. And and like at its essence, really what I do is I help people rewire their mind so they're in full alignment of their vision, the plan and strategy that they have to execute that vision, and then the behaviors and actions they take every single day. So when we have a vision of what we want to create in our lives, and this can be a business, a relationship, a lifestyle, it could be really whatever it is that you want, and we fall short of that vision, the disparity between those two things is found in your integrity, how well you follow through with your word. And by definition, integrity is when your intentions, your commitments, and your actions are all the same thing, then it's only a matter of time before you get what you're looking to create. And so I help people on all levels, on an emotional, spiritual level, on a strategic level, and then also in like a life management level, workflows and self-care and all of those things, and integrating all of them together to create a lifestyle where not only do you create that vision, but you are in a state of joy and a state of flow in the process of that creation.
And that's an interesting thing, because usually when I'm, you know, talking about these things and getting in alignment and organizing my life so that I have the greatest integrity, basically doing what you say you're going to do, it ain't a fun process.
Oh, yeah, it can. Yeah, because it's revealing. When I first speak to someone, I'm just like, all right, talk to me like a magic genie. And the secret is really you're the magic genie. I'm just the mirror on the wall. You know what I mean? And I said, like, tell me what you want to create. And then they're like, oh, I want to build this business. I have this gift. I work with a lot of like hypnotherapists and NLP practitioners right now. And they're like, I've got this idea of like, I want to bring my gift to the world and I want to have impact on people. And I'm like, great. How are you going to do that? And they're like, oh, I'm gonna build this program, and I'm gonna build this Facebook group and this community, and I want to serve them. I want it to be this place where people can congregate and grow. And I'm like, great. How are you gonna do that? I'm like, show me your calendar. And then they show me their calendar. I'm like, when is all of this planned? There's a lot of things that need to take place in order to have a successful anything. And if it doesn't take a lot of moving pieces, then you need to make your vision a little bit bigger. And so when we take a look at like, well, get down to the detail, how are we going to get this done? Things start to reveal itself, and you realize that you don't budget your attention, and attention these days is more valuable than gold, more valuable than oil. Attention is the thing that everyone's fighting for, because that at its essence is the only thing we truly own. And so when you don't budget your attention, then you're going throughout life acting on impulse. And that can be a very reactive existence, which can cause a lot of chaos, which then, drains and fatigues the body and the mind, and downward spirals from there.
Well, and our society is very much built on extending that metaphor, helping us be more reactive by placing more things in front of us. And what I mean by that, of course, is all of the messages in the inbox, all of the, little things that pop up on any social media network that you might be on, anything that drops in front of you that presents another possibility. That is not a strong point of our society.
Totally.
Because what it leads us to do is just go around exploring things that probably, weren't for us in the first place, or it's so distracting. So, how many people have you met over the years that just could do really, really great things, but they're so held back by how distracted they are.
Oh my gosh. And the thing is like those notifications are meant to serve us. They're meant to let us know, hey, there's something you need to pay attention to. So you see that little badge notification on your apps, right? And so if you're watching right now, I want you to go to your email and tell me how many unread messages are there. So like now that number has no significance to you. So like I ask people, so I like ask them, show your calendar and we'll see what's up there. And then we're going to take a look at your email. And it's like, how many emails are in your inbox? And then how many are unread? Right now, I could tell you without even looking at my email, everything is read and I have about 300 messages in there. So in those messages have significance to them, something I need to get back to or something that like I'm waiting on or something like that. It was interesting. I was meeting with one of my clients the other day, and we were going through trying to find a document. Okay. And it took like 15 clicks to get there. And she almost gave up after like looking at it in the first 5 clicks. And I said, isn't it amazing how an extra 5 or 6 clicks can actually stop you from making progress on the thing that's most important to you? And so it's unbelievable. Like the minutia of your workflow happens with the way that you've organized the way that you work. And it really starts there. Now when you're building a business, and RJ, as you know, you hire business consultants to help you amplify whatever it is that you're doing. God bless you.
Right.
But the thing is like, okay, you get busy. Now you want to hire a VA, right? And I don't know if you have a VA, but when you're like, what do I even have this person do? Right. And the problem is that we tend to outsource to get things off of our plate, when truly outsourcing is about inviting them into the way that you work.
Yeah.
And then siphoning some of those tasks to them within that same system. But so many people don't have a way that they flow through their work. So it ends up really holding them back.
Yeah, it really does. I was lucky enough. Now I did have a few VAs that just did not work out so much. But then I ended up getting who I have now. But you're right. They're team members. They're not VAs to me. They're people sometimes I call and say, I got this decision to make. Would you weigh in for me?
Yeah.
Because they know my business inside and out. And the benefit of that is when I, need a sick day or a mental health day, or when I'm on the road, they take over my stuff.
Yeah, it's nice. And in order to have that life, everyone's chasing, I want to scale, I want to leverage my time, I want passive income. The only real type of like passive income or outsourcing is simply just to purchase something. Passive income, purchase a stock, sit there for a while, get dividends, make money. When you want to hire something out, it's like, I want someone to build my office. I just say, hey, build me an office, and then it happens. But to build a business or to build a lifestyle where things work for you, that requires preparation. That requires like intention. And what a lot of people try to do is they try to take someone else's system and be like, oh, I want that too. And what I have found in my years of business consulting, of building systems to scale, is all the technology is there. So that's not the issue. The issue is, how do you enroll someone's spirit, someone's soul, someone's functionality, the way they work? How do you integrate that into the technology? So the technology is an extension of their actions. It's an extension of their organization, their memory, their personality, as opposed to you trying to figure out the tech, right? And so when you build something that's an extension of you, then it works for you, and it works in flow. So I found that to be like the most challenging part about technology and systems, is how do you enroll the human into it? So the human and the tech is integrated.
Well, and I resonate so much with that. I was working with someone yesterday on some systems and some organizational work, and it was like, what I told her was, it doesn't really matter which systems I pick. What matters is that you like working with them and you feel like you have control over them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a geek, I know about a million systems out there. What I have to do is more than just the, okay, what does this person want? Okay, that functionality is here, give them that functionality and they've got what they want. No, there's a whole bunch of other stuff happening in there.
Right. Right. Yeah. And the way that it is right now is there's never going to be a system that you work in. It's a series. It's a series of systems. It's no different than the appliances in your kitchen. Like you can get the same brand, oven and stove and microwave and food processor, but your silverware comes from somewhere else, right? The bowls come from somewhere else. And so it's the same thing when you're building your tech. There's all different types, and similar to personal taste of kitchen appliances. I'm agnostic to the actual tech. It's more so like, what does this do for you? And if someone wants to use a tech different than the one that I use, I get curious and say, well, how are you interacting with this? Because if you're interacting in a way of which it serves you, great. Or maybe I've got something that would serve you better, that integrates into your workflow a whole lot better.
One of the things I studied in school is human-computer interaction. And
Really?
we can't even go down that road right now because we'll be here all day. I want to talk to you, and I brought you here to talk about your precise language stuff. Tell me a little bit about that if you can, because I think it's fascinating, and I want everybody in the world to hear this.
Yeah. So when we're consciously creating throughout the day, it starts with an idea, right? And there's an endless possibility of ideas that we all have access to. And then we get a feeling about it. Oh, I'd like to create that, right? Then that turns into a plan. Then it turns into action, and it turns into a thing. So for instance, the very chair that I'm sitting on right now was once an idea. And someone was like, what would be nice if I could sit up and I could lean back and it was nice and comfortable. And so then that plan turned into that idea turned into a plan. Okay, I'm going to need wood. I'm going to need leather. I'm going to need springs. And then that plan turned into actions, just like an IKEA chair. Step 1, plug this thing into there. Step 2, plug it in there. And then at the end, you get a chair. So from thoughts to reality, that's the process. And when we have an idea of what we want to create, and that's not happening, something in that process is not working. And so we need to be able to see what's wrong first in order to be able to shift the way that we think, strategize, or behave. Now, language is an incredible tool that only humans have, different than communication. Language has grammar. We can visit the future and reflect in the past, like dolphins and monkeys and dogs can't do that, or it's very limited. And so when we use language, we investigate what it is that is required in order for us to create. And unfortunately, we use language in a way that stops us from that. That keeps us in an emotional, reactive state that causes confusion and overwhelm and fatigue. So the way that the brain works is it has an image and then it has an emotion, and then between those two things, the association between those becomes a belief. That belief then tells us how to behave. So I see there's ice cream in front of me. Emotion, it's delicious and tasty, and therefore belief, I love ice cream. So then when ice cream is in front of me, my subconscious is like, eat that. Makes sense? So what happens is we use language that gives us the illusion that we have an image, although we don't. So when I say ice cream and I were to ask you to draw that on a piece of paper, you probably could draw ice cream. Okay. But now I'm gonna give you an image to draw, and go ahead, and I want you to think about how you would draw this. Okay. Draw not a monkey. How would you I want you to draw me something, not a monkey. How are you supposed to know what I'm trying to to take what's in my head and put it down on paper? Because when I say draw ice cream, you draw a little bowl, some scoops, right? And that now You can, I want you, and essentially what I'm saying objectively is I want you to take action to turn the thing that's in my head into something physical. When I say draw not a monkey, you're like, what am I supposed to do? So what's happening there is the word not becomes this shadow in the mind. And so when we're struggling with something, and let's just say, it's in business and you're afraid of failing, right? You're about to do this launch and then you get this thing in your belly and you're just like, I just don't want to fail. Well, do not fail. So your brain is trying to figure out an instruction and say, okay, not fail. How do I perform for that? So instead we remove the word not and we simply ask like, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to succeed. Well, what does success look like? Well, and then we start mapping it out. Now the brain has a destination. And so without the destination, it's extremely difficult to take proper action to get yourself towards, whatever it is that you're looking to do. So we use language in a way that hides us from that. And what's interesting is that the emotions that we have start causing our language to be more void, to speak more shadows, which keeps us more confused. And this is how we end up in like this cycle of overwhelm, self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, anxiety, and stress. And so I developed a precise language modality about 8 years ago. And it is the most powerful conscious creation tool that I've ever seen in my life, in my past 21 years of being a coach.
Wow. Well, so you developed this system about 8 years ago. What kind of results have you seen? Can you tell me about a couple of cases where this is really, or maybe 8 years worth of cases? But again, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, right.
Can you tell me what results this has brought about in people's lives?
Yeah, I'll give you the most recent one. One of my clients, Aaron, is building a coaching program around teaching people Shakespeare to make them better overall actors, even like commercial actors and cinema actors. And she came to a precise language session and she's like, I got to teach my class tomorrow. I'm honestly not feeling it. I'm not feeling confident those are all voids, right? I'm not confident. I'm not feeling it. And I'm really just like worried about it. And I'm like, well, why is that? She's like, well, I had 10 slots open and I've got 2 left and I feel like a failure. Well, failure's a void because you're always succeeding at something. So where do we succeed here? And so I asked her, so we went into precise language and I asked her, okay, well, why did you do this beta program anyways? I mean, do you know what a beta is? A beta is to build something to get feedback on it so you can build the finished version. And I'm like, why did you have 2 slots open? Well, people were telling me that, the time of day, we could go earlier in the day, then they can make it. And if they had more time to make a decision, because they're already in so many other classes. I'm like, okay, so what you learned is you got 8 clients, which is awesome in your first group program. And then the other 2, what benefit did you get out of that? Well, I realized when I run this again, I need to promote earlier and I need to change the times a little bit. Because if I were to do that last time, I'd have a full thing. So I'm like, so you in the beta, it was to get people through your program and figure out what other people or what other things you need to do to fill it up next time. You accomplished all of that.
Yeah.
So like, where did you fail? Like you got everything that you wanted. And so all of a sudden it's like, whoa, hold up. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah. I kicked ass. And immediately there's this frame shift. Like, no, you succeeded 100%. You got everything that you wanted. So, and from those 2 people, if let's say it filled up, 10 slots, you would have never got that knowledge that you should promote a little bit earlier and that you should give more flexible times. So good thing that those 2 people didn't sign up. So what ended up happening is she was like, oh, awesome. She went out and like joyfully started promoting her stuff. She filled the slots. So everyone won. So it's just like, it's just a frame shift like that. That's like a momentary frame shift that I can share with you, that your emotions show the way that you perform, and the way that you perform is responsible for the outcomes that you get. Change the emotion, change the perspective, change the behavior, change the outcome.
Yeah. That's amazing. I think what caught me is when you said she went out and started to joyfully promote. And I think that you know, for me and other people that I know, that can be a what do you call that? An oxymoron, where it's like, I mean, most people just hate promotion, and so. But your point is that if you do something with a passion, people see it
One
and they want to be involved.
100%. And you know this being a performer yourself, that when you technically are a great performer, you can mask the internal emotions that you have through your technical performance. And I firmly believe that content is consumed in the authentic energy of which it's created. So even when you're a good performer, people can tell. They might not be able to consciously acknowledge it, but there's something inside of them that doesn't resonate. And so whenever you're creating anything, it will be consumed in the energy of which that was created. And so that is why being in a state where you're just like constantly tripping over joyful moments opens you up for receiving, connecting, and growing overall.
That's that part of it to me is fascinating, uh, because I tend to think, because I'm in computer land over here, that I am, and I tend to think of every problem as something I can solve with technology. Um, that ain't the truth. That ain't the
Mm.
truth. Sometimes it's not the technology that you're using at all. Sometimes the problem, the real situation, is anchored back into the stuff that you're talking about, and this, yeah, and your language itself. um Gosh, well, I want to tell the world about you. How can people get a hold of you? What's the next big thing you're doing? Tell me everything, Spencer.
Awesome. So I'm gonna get you a link in Facebook, and you can give it to the audience once we're done. But so there's two ways to connect. One is joining my community, the Integrity Machine community, and we'll give you a link for that. In that, I have a training called Reframe, which actually shows you how to use affirmations in a way for you to rewire consciously your subconscious programming. And it's an incredible training. It takes a couple minutes in the morning and a couple minutes at night. I also do 2 live interactive trainings every single month. The first Wednesday of the month, we do in Precise Language Live, where I show you how precise language works, and then I stay on for an hour and a half and just do precise language sessions to demonstrate how it works. And I literally bring people on into the call. It's awesome. And then next Sunday, we're doing Integrity Machine Live. Now, this is where I bring you inside of my organization and inside my program, and I literally show you how it works to allow you to be able to create with ease and flow and joy, and all of the technical and emotional elements that are required in order for you to like really make some moves and have an impact, and to really take giant strides forward every single week. And so we'll be doing that on Sunday, I believe it's 24th. Yeah, I think it's 24th.
Excellent. So if one were to join your group, one might be able to, get announcements of these things, and stay on top of what you're doing, so that they can join this movement that you're creating right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And our community is designed around like support. And so like a lot of the people that are in the Facebook group are trying to execute these things, or they're trying to to make a move towards their business or personal life, and they get support through our through chat and through the program. In addition, those that get our Integrity Machine program have even more support, because they've got all of the instructions on how to create this. And then anytime that they run into a program, like it's reach out. The way that I talk to my clients is I say the same thing all the time. It's like, speak to us, our team, like we're magic genies. If you don't know how to do something, great. Just be like, hey, how do I do this? And it's incredible on how fast you can create when you've got a team that actually cares and is really responsive.
Beautiful. Man, this has been great. I'm joining the Facebook group. Jessica, Teresa, whoever's in the sound of my voice, ladies, gentlemen, and every coordinate in between. This is a guy to investigate. This is a group to jump into, and it's vastly interesting to me. So I'm there. You'll be there with me, and I just want to thank you for coming on and really kind of enlightening some of the burden, some of the focus burden that everybody has. And any final words for the viewers here today?
So final, like let's reduce it down to one thing, right? In order to create your vision, all you technically need is the next step. It's just like a GPS system. You want to drive from New York to California. Yeah, there's a lot of roads and all that. But once you start, all the GPS tells you is keep driving. And then when it's time to turn, make a turn. After that, I'll tell you the next step. So whenever you're stuck, just ask yourself, what is my next step? Get that next step as a desired outcome and work on that. And then just keep lily padding to the next one. Anytime you're in overwhelm, that is the most simple thing that you can do. And it works 100% of the time.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. We're gonna have to have you on again. And geez, that's what we've got for you this Friday. The weekly fireside chat happening in the dojo today at 3:00. Please do join us. It'll be a fun group. We're going to talk about Friday wins. We're going to just chat and have a wonderful time and end our week together. If you're not in the dojo yet, thebotdojo.com, people, you know where to find me, and we'll text you when it's time. Thanks again for joining us. I'll see you on Monday about 10:00. And that's all for today, my friends. We'll see you in a bot.